Have you ever felt like stress, anger, or worry churned your stomach? It's not just a saying, it's pure biology. Your body is designed to react, very precisely, to everything your mind can't sort out. Today, on the Somatic Decoder, we're going to explore one of medicine's most overlooked mysteries: why the digestive system, especially the stomach, is the dumping ground for unprocessed feelings. Imagine this. A man, after years of enduring a job he despises, wakes up with a sharp pain. Diagnosis: gastric ulcer. His doctor prescribes antacids, but the root of the problem isn't hydrochloric acid. It's the accumulated resentment, the helplessness of feeling trapped. His body, unable to digest that reality, literally begins to self-digest. This isn't an isolated case, it's a pattern. And today we'll show you this not just with science, but with real cases, examples from the animal kingdom, and most importantly, a solution that goes beyond medication. Because understanding the why is the first step to healing the how. The lining of the stomach gets inflamed, gastritis, as a reaction to a resistance conflict. A classic example: a woman who lives for years in an unhappy marriage but swallows her frustration because she's scared of being alone. Her body, unable to express that emotion, turns it into physical symptoms like burning, bloating, and sickness. If the conflict continues, the body prioritizes survival, it erodes the tissue. In other words, it creates an ulcer to increase acid production and symbolically digest the problem. This, in a way, explains why many ulcers appear after specific traumatic events like bankruptcy, betrayal, or the loss of a territory. For example, being made redundant. Robert, 50 years old, a financial director. After months of workplace bullying, he developed a perforated ulcer. His doctor mentioned excess acid, but the real trigger was a specific event. The day his boss humiliated him in front of the team, and he, due to financial necessity, smiled and endured it. His ulcer wasn't a coincidence. It was the physical manifestation of an unhealed emotional wound. Sophia, 38 years old, a mother of 3, was diagnosed with erosive gastritis. No treatment worked, until in therapy she recognized the pattern. Each crisis coincided with her mother-in-law's visits, a controlling woman who made her feel, well, invisible. Her stomach reacted to what she couldn't say. This is destroying me. In nature, there's no such thing as psychosomatic issues. It's all pure biology. Take a look at these examples. When an alpha male is defeated and cast out of the pack, he develops stomach ulcers within days. Why does this happen? His territory, that is his identity, was taken from him. Unable to hunt or reproduce, his body enters a self-destruction program. Studies show that elephants in zoos, deprived of freedom and their herd, develop chronic digestive diseases. It's not the food, it's the loss of their emotional home. Do you see the parallel? We humans have words, but when we are silent, the body speaks the same language as animals, that of survival. Without this, any treatment will just be a temporary fix. Remember, gastritis or ulcers are a biological solution to unmanaged stress. How do you break the cycle? Ask yourself, what situation makes me feel angry, helpless, or scared, something I have to swallow? When did the symptoms start? Create an emotional timeline. The body needs to release trapped emotions. Write letters even if you don't send them. Shout into a cushion. Do shock therapy with a professional. An ulcer is a cry that's not been uttered. If you can't change the situation, change how you see it. For example, my boss humiliated me can become their behavior shows their own insecurity, not my worth. In Chinese medicine, gastritis is linked to a blockage of the stomach and spleen meridian, caused by what they call emotional rumination. Acupuncture helps to release this blockage, reduces inflammation and regulates acid production from its nervous origin, but be careful, it doesn't suppress it. The key points are E36, known as Zusanli, which helps to strengthen digestion, and PC6 Neiguan, which helps to calm emotional fire. Ulcers often leave behind interference fields, which are scars that mess with nerve signals. Neural therapy uses procaine, injecting it into related areas like abdominal ganglia or old scars, to reset the incorrect information and allow the tissue to heal without that memory of illness. It doesn't treat symptoms, it treats emotional patterns. Examples. Nux vomica is suggested for people who are, let's say, addicted to stress. They often bottle up their anger and use too many antacids or drink too much coffee. Argentum nitricum is used for ulcers caused by anticipatory anxiety, that typical fear of what's to come. Lycopodium, on the other hand, is helpful for gastritis in people who put up with things due to a fear of conflict. This is quite common in overwhelmed parents. Diet doesn't fix conflict, but it stops an organ that's healing from being overloaded. Now there are some important things we need to think about. It's crucial to temporarily avoid dairy as it increases irritated gastric mucus. Also, coffee and alcohol should be avoided because they stimulate acid production unnecessarily. Additionally, spicy foods can be physically abrasive to the digestive system. It's a good idea to prioritize cool foods, not in terms of temperature but in terms of energy, according to Chinese medicine, such as pear, cucumber and squash. Healing foods are also important, for example, bone broth for its glycine content, cabbage for its anti-ulcer factor, and ginger in an infusion, which acts as an anti-inflammatory without adding too much heat. Eating without stress is really important. That's because your rest and digest system needs to be active for your food to go down properly. Also, chewing each bite at least 20 times is super important because, well, digestion starts in your mouth. Today on the Somatic Decoder, we've uncovered something groundbreaking, that gastritis and ulcers aren't body failures, but urgent messages written in the language of biology. We learned that the stomach becomes inflamed when the mind can't digest a painful reality, and that ulcers perforate what we don't dare to express. But we also explored the good news, that these conditions can be reversed when we address their emotional origin. We support healing with therapies that respect the body's intelligence, such as acupuncture, neural therapy, or homeopathy, and adopt habits that heal from the root. Because true medicine isn't about silencing the messenger, it's about listening to its message. If this video made you see your digestive symptoms with new eyes, leave us a comment with the word HEAL. We want to know, did you identify any conflict behind your gastritis or ulcer? Have you tried any of these therapies? Subscribe for more content that unites science and consciousness, because at the Somatic Decoder we believe the body isn't a machine to be fixed. It's an ally that speaks to us. Until the next video, where we'll continue to decipher the secret code of true health. Remember, the next time you feel a burning sensation, don't just ask, "What did I eat?" but "What couldn't I process today?" Because understanding is the first step to healing.